Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here very quickly, we are going to see the launch of Season 1 within Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. And obviously, we know this is going to be a major update. The Warzone integration is coming. We've got a new battle pass, new weapons, operators, maps, plenty of content across the board. However, there are a few very specific, very important things you might want to take note of before Season 1 drops here on December 6th. So today, I'm sort of giving you guys that checklist, that to-do list in a sense of things you really want to focus on at the end of the preseason here in MW3 just prior to Season 1. So as we get into the details, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it, would be really appreciated. And if you're new here, or if you're part of the 54% of viewers who have not already subscribed, let's change that, because every single day I got you covered with news, updates, meta breakdowns, patch notes, literally everything going on in COD is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications to stay up to date. But obviously, with the launch of Season 1, we're going to see several big changes to availability of certain things within MW3 and Warzone, and even MW2 for that matter, with certain things expiring and new things taking their place. So there's a lot of things you might want to take advantage of in the final few days of the preseason period right now. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to experience them or unlock them ever again, potentially. So the first one's definitely an obvious one here. Finish that Season 6 Battle Pass. By now, if you, just bought MW3 at launch, you never really played MW2, decent amount of time to go through and log playtime and probably finish up that battle pass. If you were playing MW2 and Warzone during Season 6 and you didn't quite finish again, this has been one of the longest running battle passes I think we've ever had in the battle pass era of COD, in all honesty. So you should be pretty close, all things considered. You definitely want to make sure you grind out those last few tiers or those last few sectors of your battle pass, because obviously all this content is going to be widely available to use throughout Warzone in the future of MW3 because the carry forward content, but also none of this content's going to be available ever again. So if there's certain, Halloween based skins you want to unlock, or maybe a few blueprints for your MW2 guns or whatnot, those are only available until Season 1 drops here on December 6th. Then after that, those items are gone forever. So definitely go through and finish that MW2 Season 6 Battle Pass, whether you're playing Warzone or MW2 or MW3 here with multiplayer or zombies. Any playtime there will count towards that. And sort of piggybacking off of that, I have seen a lot of questions. Hey, if I don't want to use these last couple of battle pass tokens, I'm not really, a big fan of this sector's tiers or that sector's rewards, whatever the case may be, can I just save those battle pass tokens for MW3 Season 1? And the answer to that is, for the most part, no. At least to my knowledge, it seems like with every single battle pass, if you don't use all your tokens, those don't end up carrying over to the next one. The only time that I've ever seen that happen is if you were granted bonus tokens for some sort of promotion, whether that's a pre-order or a vault edition or something, or they rewarded you them retroactively because of some issues with the battle pass. Those are really the only instances in which battle pass tokens have carried over. So it's definitely not a surefire thing that they're going to work here, especially transitioning to a new game's battle pass. So it's sort of a run at your own risk. Maybe there's a chance that it works, but more than likely those tokens will just expire and you'll end up having wasted them. So if you have leftover tokens, it's probably in your best interest to just finish out that battle pass and make sure you have all that content unlocked. This next one's a bit of a tricky one, but you might want to just do it out of precautionary measures, and that is the weekly challenges that we currently have live via the preseason updates. We now have 4 weeks of these live, so this means you can actually unlock a bunch of different aftermarket parts and whatnot, but also the Golden River camo. Now, here's the thing, being that these are weekly challenges, you've been able to go back and do them. If you didn't do the week 1 challenges, you could do those right now and get that aftermarket part and get some of those rewards. Same deal with week 2, week 3, and now here in week 4 of the preseason. But we don't know the length that these are actually going to be available. There hasn't been much communication in the way of that. Now, Call of Duty did specify that with the aftermarket parts, even if you don't unlock them right away, there'd always be the opportunity to get them at a later point in time via a challenge that basically said, hey, you don't have to worry about, say you can't play this week, you're never going to get that aftermarket part. It's going to be there down the road. You don't have to worry about that FOMO. So in theory, even if they change the weekly challenges, The aftermarket parts and the rewards here should still be available, but that's not to say it's the same for, the Golden River camo and whatnot. So it's probably in your best interest, again, out of precautionary measures, to try and go through and complete as many of these weekly challenges as possible, just because it's a bit uncertain as to how things are going to change with those season over season, since obviously this is the first time we've had anything like this. And by the way, as we're speaking of prep for season one huge tip I can give you guys jumping into the new season, jumping into the new Warzone integration, is to do it with some G Fuel by your side. Whether you are picking some up for yourself, restocking on your favorite flavors, maybe trying something new in the form of a starter kit or something, or maybe picking some up for a friend or a loved one for the holidays, they offer some great stocking stuffers, I won't lie. Some G Fuel tubs, some starter kits, fantastic gift options there. If you want to pick up anything at all though from the G Fuel site, be sure to throw in code Immortal at checkout. It'll net you that nice 20 to 30% off discount, pretty much everything on the site, and the link for that will be down in the description below. Now obviously one of the largest aspects of the season 1 update, as I mentioned earlier, is the Warzone integration. And if you're someone who's planning on grinding out Warzone when it drops this time around, because it's actually taking feedback into account this year, one huge thing you definitely want to get done as soon as possible is to level as many different weapons as possible for a variety of reasons. One, you just never know what the meta is going to be like come season 1. They've already guaranteed that they're going to have some higher end meta changes and weapon updates with the season 1 patch, so various different buffs and nerfs are confirmed to be happening. And if some random gun, some random marksman rifle or some random battle rifle or shotgun gets buffed to be crazy good, you want to make sure you have that leveled so you can jump in and use that right away. On the contrary, if you are using a weapon right now that is meta and it ends up getting hard nerfed with season 1 and you haven't finished leveling it, or maybe you haven't used it at all yet, now you have to use a lesser version of that gun against other meta weapons, which just won't be as enjoyable. So you definitely want to level as many different weapons as possible, but of course, not all of us have all the time in the world to do every single gun. So if that's the case, another huge tip here is to finish leveling the obvious broken guns. Sort of for the same reason that I just implied there, you don't want to have to level up a gun that was broken at one point in time and now is nerfed into the ground, because that just makes the grind less fun and obviously makes your time with that gun more, miserable and obnoxious to level up. But also, it's kind of tricky to predict the meta, but there are certain guns, I've already sort of highlighted a few in some previous videos, whether it's based on attachment unlocks or just the overall weapons effectiveness, that are likely going to be very good within Warzone here, and even MW3 multiplayer going forward. So if you are a bit limited on time and you just want to focus on using some guns that are nice and consistent, feel free to go and check out those videos, but focus on leveling those guns that are going to be sort of mainstays, presumably throughout the foreseeable future. We also got to talk a bit about the Armory unlocks here, since a lot of the content in this game is mandatory locked behind the Armory, which is a bit unfortunate for those limited on time, but there are a few standout things here that you definitely want to focus on unlocking through the Armory first, because there are so many different things you can acquire through here, whether it's some of the bonus attachments that for whatever reason some weapons have, or different perks, equipment, so on and so forth. Really the main things you want to focus on here are those meta mainstays yet again. Really, I would recommend going through and trying to get every single weapon you can out of the Armory, since some are exclusive to Armory unlocks, of course, but also some main things like Ghost, the Stims, things like that, so on and so forth. That'll be common occurrences on the main meta loadouts within Warzone and MW3 multiplayer. Definitely, focus on those big ticket items first, and then you can move on to some of the smaller things, stuff that you probably won't use all that much, random streaks or random equipment that's not really a huge priority for your gameplay. Another reset coming with season 1 here is actually a pretty significant one, and this is a ranked play reset, and this is taking effect both in MW2 multiplayer and Warzone ranked as well. With MW3, it's obviously a whole new competitive year, and with that we are going to see some new ranked play updates, but not all right at the launch of season 1. As of right now, ranked play should be dropping in multiplayer in season 1 reloaded, and then ranked play in Warzone is coming in early 2024. But with the launch of season 1 and the reset here, ranked play is going to be going offline for the time being in multiplayer and in Warzone alike. So if you're trying to reach a certain rank here in ranked play for this season, definitely, go back to MW2, go back to Warzone real quick and see if you can achieve that, since obviously it'll be the last of the MW2 and Warzone initial ranked play rewards for season 6, and the last time there will be ranked play for some time in each mode, obviously. So some important resets happening there. Then the final thing just to look out for here in the coming days, at least on the PlayStation side of things, is the preload for the Season 1 update. We can assume this is going to be a pretty significant download size since obviously there is so much coming with this update across the board. So downloading this update as early as possible is definitely going to be ideal if you're looking to jump on right as the update goes live on the 6th. Unfortunately, it is only PlayStation that can preload, and usually that preload goes live anywhere between 12 and 24 hours before the update drops. If you're on Xbox or if you're on PC, chances are you're probably just going to have to download it when it drops, which is a bit unfortunate, but if you have the option to preload, certainly take advantage of that. That way you don't have to worry about any extra download times or copying times when you're trying to jump on and experience everything that Season 1 has to offer. So, you know, overall here, handful of things you definitely want to take note of. If you haven't completed these things yet, probably is a good idea to do so, or at least try to get as much of this done as possible before Season 1 drops here. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful at all, do me a favor and drop a like on it. It would be really appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.